Hello. Thank you for joining me today. My name is Allison of Blossoming Heart Counseling. Today I thought I would guide us through a yoga practice that can help with opening up the low back and the legs when you are experiencing any discomfort or tightness, perhaps related to sitting for a long time or maybe exercise such as running. If you have a strap, that will come in handy. If you don't have a strap, you could use a towel or a t-shirt. Um, you are also welcome to experiment with the pose without a strap, just using your hands, and I'll kind of give some guidance. We're going to begin seated. The first thing we're going to begin to do is just bring our awareness to our breath. And I don't want you to feel like you have to shift or change what your breath is doing. Yoga is the study of self-inquiry and learning to accept what is, and then perhaps experimenting with other ways of being. But for today, we're going to just start with acceptance. You might notice that as you bring your awareness to your breath, there might be parts of you that are experiencing discomfort with being still or being present, and we just want to offer those parts some acceptance. For others, you might notice that the breath wants to deepen and slow. Listening to what's present for you in this moment and just allowing it to be. If you're not already seated with your right leg in front, go ahead and place your right leg in front of your left. We're going to begin with some forward folds to just help open up the hips and the low back. We're going to inhale, arms overhead. And as you exhale, bend forward. And we'll hold for 3 or 4 breath cycles. And on your next inhalation, go ahead and walk your way over your right knee. And on your next inhalation, go ahead and walk your way over your left knee. And on your next inhalation, return to center. And as you exhale, go ahead and return to upright position. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, twist to the right. And as a reminder, perhaps experiment with keeping the shoulders down and away from your ears. Perhaps experimenting with lifting up through the top of the head, straightening the spine. And if you feel called to experiment with inhaling as you lengthen and exhaling as you deepen the twist, you may do so. And on your next inhalation, return to center. And as you exhale, you're going to bend the right. You might want your head to gaze upward, forward, or down, listening to what your body would like today. Perhaps experimenting with lengthening the left arm and sending it up and away from your side body. Perhaps experimenting with your shoulder being in line with your hips and your head. And as you inhale, rise. And go ahead and swap your feet so that your left leg is in front of your right. Taking a moment to pause and notice any subtle shifts. On your next inhalation, arms overhead. And as you exhale, bend forward, holding for 3 or 4 breath cycles. And on your next inhalation, go ahead and rotate over the left leg and hold for a couple breath cycles. And on your next inhalation, go ahead and walk your way over your right knee. And go ahead and hold for a few breath cycles. And on your next inhalation, go ahead and return to center. And as you exhale, rise. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, twist to the left. On your next inhale, arms overhead, return to center. And as you exhale, go ahead and lean to the left. Again, I invite you to listen to your body, perhaps gazing upward, forward, or downward. Taking it only as far as you feel comfortable. You never want to experience any sharp pain. Perhaps experimenting with breathing into any sensations that feel strong. On the next inhalation, go ahead and rise forward and lower the arms. And we're going to make our way to all fours. We're going to start with some gentle cat-cows to just release the spine. So as you inhale, your head comes up and your stomach comes down towards the mat. And as you exhale, you curve up towards the ceiling. And just do a few cat-cows on your breath cycle. Inhaling cat. Exhaling cow. Return to center. On your next inhalation, go ahead and come into low lunge. This can be a nice opener for the hips and the psoas. If you feel like you would like to have a blocks because you want to be a little more upright, or if you want to be in the upright position such as this, please experiment and listen to what your body is calling for today. We'll just hold for a few breath cycles. On the next inhalation, go ahead and make your way into half split. For some of you, this might be comfortable. For others, you might want to open up and have blocks. For others, you might want to come back and down so that you are resting on your left foot and leg. You want your hips to be even. And we'll just hold for a few breath cycles. You might notice a stretch in your hamstrings or even your glutes. For some, this sensation can be quite intense, so listen to your body, perhaps experimenting with breathing into any sensations. On the next inhalation, make your way up. We're going to come down into pigeon. You're going to move your right foot out towards the left of your mat, placing your shin down on the ground and your hips over. For some, you might want to be up. For others, you might want to come down on your forearms. For others, you might be able to come all the way down to the ground. This is a wonderful hip opener, can also open up some of the sensations in the glutes. Listen to your body's needs for today and hold the pose where you feel comfortable. And we'll breathe into any sensations if you feel called to do so. And as always, if this pose doesn't resonate and you want to experiment with a different pose, listen to your body's unique needs. On your next inhalation, make your way back up to tabletop. Perhaps taking a couple cat-cows to feel the difference on the right. Again, experimenting with the movement matching the breath. And return to neutral. On your next inhalation, go ahead and step your left leg forward into low lunge. Again, you can be down as low as you are comfortable. You could be on blocks, or you can come upright, listening to your body's unique needs for today. You might observe that there are differences from the right side to the left side, and that is perfectly normal. So just noticing with curiosity any felt sense shifts or changes or variations. Again, reminding you that you never want to experience any sharp pains, that we are experimenting with being with sensations that feel challenging and breathing into them, but we don't want to push beyond our limits, as that can lead to injury. On your next inhalation, making your way into half split on the left. Again, this might be comfortable for you. You might want to be on blocks, or if you'd like to experiment with coming down so that you are sitting on your right foot and shin, leaning forward or staying upright. Go ahead and make any adjustments and take the variation that feels most sustainable and supportive for your needs today. Holding for a few breath cycles. On your next inhalation, we're going to make our way to pigeon on the left side. So your left foot comes out to the edge of the right side of your mat. Your shin comes down and you begin to rest over your shin. Again, you can either be all the way down, you can be part way up, or for some, you might want to be all the way up. For others, you might be able to lift your hands off the mat and come upright, depending on how strong you feel and how comfortable you are. Listening to your unique needs for today. Breathing perhaps into any sensations that you feel or sense. Experimenting with acceptance and witnessing of what is. Holding for one more breath cycle. Your next inhalation, making your way back to tabletop. And again, we'll just do a couple cat-cows to help that integrate, noticing the difference between the right and the left as you balance it out. Coming into neutral spine. We'll do a little strength exercise for our core. You're going to want to engage your core so that your belly and your belly button are kind of coming in towards your ribs and your spine. And then you want to engage your glutes, and you're going to lift your right arm and your left leg at the same time. Holding. This helps to strengthen the muscles of the low back and the core. And go ahead and release, and we'll come to the other side. And go ahead and release. We'll take a moment to come onto our back. And a lovely opener for the psoas and a strengthening for the low back and the glutes is bridge. So we'll just take a moment to prepare for bridge on an inhalation. And as you exhale, press through your feet and bring your pelvis up towards the sky. And hold. And release. Go ahead and take a moment to pause. Go ahead and prepare inhalation. Exhale, bridge. Hold. Inhaling, and as you exhale, lower. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, lift. Inhale, hold. Exhale, release. You might want to do some windshield wipers with your legs. This can help to release the low back and also open up some of the psoas. And we'll return to center. We're gonna go ahead and grab our strap, or if you're using a towel or a t-shirt, you might grab that. And you're going to place your strap on the bottom of your right foot. You can either leave your left leg bent, or if you'd like a little more intensity, you can put it out so that it's lying on the ground. And you're just going to create some pressure so that you are pressing into the strap with your right foot, which will open up the muscles in the back of the leg. You're going to be pushing your leg away, so that opens up the hip, while at the same time you're pulling on the strap toward yourself, towards the floor. And you only want to go as deep as is comfortable for you. You don't want to experience any sharp pains. So listen to your body. And we'll hold for a few breath cycles, breathing into any sensations that we are experiencing. And if you don't have a strap, you could either hold your big toe or you could place your hands behind your shin. And on the next exhale, we're going to go ahead and put the strap so that it is in whichever hand feels most comfortable. And we're going to allow the right leg to open up towards the right. This will create some stretch on the inside of the leg. And you want to keep your hips level on the mat. You don't want your left hip to come off the mat. So as you are allowing the right leg to float to the right, you're simultaneously kind of pushing your left hip into the ground to stabilize. Remember to breathe. And on your next inhalation, bring your leg up. And we're going to exhale, release towards the left. This will open up the right side of the body. Again, this can be quite intense for some, so if you are noticing that it is quite strong a sensation, you might want to decrease how far you are going. Go only as deep as you feel you can hold, and then experiment with breathing into any sensations. And inhale, return to center. We're going to go ahead and release the strap. And we're going to do, again, a variation of pigeon on our back. We're going to place our right leg on our left thigh, and we're going to simultaneously hold on to our left shin and kind of pull our left leg in, which will create a stretch in your glutes and your side body. And you're going to also sort of set the intention of keeping your pelvis and your low back on the mat, creating a little bit of resistance. And then we're going to go into shoelace pose. So your knees are going to come so that they are touching. And you're going to just grab your ankles or your shins, and you're just going to kind of pull them away and pull your knees in towards your body. At the same time, you want to keep your pelvis on the ground. Remembering to breathe into any sensations. And release. And now we're going to do a twist, keeping our legs in shoelace pose if that is comfortable, letting the legs fall to the left. And this can be quite intense for some, so if you're experiencing any sharp pain, you might want to uncross your legs and just have them resting on top of each other in a supine twist. On the next inhalation, return to center. And go ahead and release that. And we'll just prepare for the other side. So on the next inhale, bring your left leg up, and we'll place the strap over your left foot. If you'd like your right leg to be straight, you can go ahead and lower it. If you'd like it to be in a bent position, you can go ahead and put it in a bent position. Again, we want to keep our pelvis neutral and on the ground, while at the same time we are pushing through our left foot up towards the ceiling and pulling our left leg towards our body. Holding for a few breath cycles. This side might feel different than the other side, and we're just noticing. I don't have quite as much flexibility on this side, so you might have noticed that my leg is more straight towards the ceiling, whereas my right leg was a little closer towards my body. Asymmetry is normal. On the next inhalation, go ahead and prepare. And on the next exhalation, go ahead and allow your left leg to float towards the left. Again, this should feel a stretch in the side of the inside of the left leg. On the next inhale, return to center, and as you exhale, go ahead and lower the left leg towards the right. Listening to your body, and again, you want to keep your hips level on the ground. You don't want your hips to rise up. And if you're noticing any holding, perhaps noticing what it's like to breathe into the holding and just inviting it to release. Not uncommon for our face or our jaw to hold some tension. And on the next inhale, return to center. Go ahead and release the strap. And we're going to go ahead and come into pigeon on this side. And again, holding your right shin, you are keeping your pelvis on the ground as you simultaneously experiment with bringing your right leg and your right knee towards your body, which will stretch the ins or the outside of the left hip and glute. On the next inhale, we're going to come into shoelace pose on the other side. Holding for a few breath cycles. On the next inhalation, go ahead and prepare for a supine twist. And on the exhale, lower your legs to the right. Again, if you want to keep them in shoelace pose, you may. And if you want to uncross them and have your left leg on top of your right, you may. Your arms can either be at your side, out in a T, or perhaps over your head. And your head can be looking either upwards, towards the right, or towards the left, whatever feels most comfortable. On the next inhale, return to center, uncross the legs. And on your exhale, we're going to go ahead and make our way into Shavasana. And Shavasana is a moment of slowing down and allowing the practice to integrate. Perhaps, again, bringing your awareness to your breath. Perhaps noticing the places where your body is making contact with the floor and how the floor is rising up to hold you and support you. Sometimes in life we might feel like we don't have a lot of supports, and our practice and getting on the mat can be a way for us to support ourselves and to connect to the breath which supports us, and the ground and the strength of the ground which supports us. When you're ready, perhaps bring some gentle movement into your body, perhaps making your way to either your right or your left side, pausing a moment before coming up to a seat. And as always, with any of my videos, if you would like to stay in Shavasana longer, I invite you to do so. Thank you for joining me today for our practice of releasing and opening the low back and the legs. If you found today's practice helpful, I hope you'll consider subscribing to my YouTube channel, Blossoming Heart Counseling. I am a mental health therapist as well as a trained yoga instructor and yoga therapist. And I offer resources that help individuals connect with their sense of self and to deepen that inquiry of self-wisdom and self-support, which can help nourish our mental health and our physical health. Namaste.